A big-time former Bobcat running backs doing big-time things north of the border. A.J. Ouellette's turned into a Canadian Football League cult hero, and he and his Toronto Argonauts are off to that franchise's best start since 1935. I'm Russ Eisenstein, voice of the Bobcats, joined by A.J. Ouellette. A.J., what's up, man? How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Living the dream still. Get the strap up. So having fun. I appreciate you for this interview.
What is life like for A.J. Ouellette in Toronto?
Um, you know, Staying busy, having fun. I get to make a career out of playing football. I did that at OU, but I had to do the school on top of it. Now it's football all the time. So a little bit more locked in.
We talk about your path and you hooking up with the Argos has really been a wonderful relationship here. And a lot of times it's not because you're not talented enough to play in the NFL. It's about fit. It's about the roster availability. It's about timing and luck and all of that. You tried it with the Saints and then the Browns and then 2019 with the Argos. COVID shut down their season in 2020. And then 2021, and you were a part of the Grey Cup championship last year, and you're off to a great start this year. Why has it worked so well for you, do you think, with the Argos?
I think just finding my role. Just putting my head down and working. Got up here and didn't really know what to expect, so I tried to learn the game as fast as I can. There's so much cool features to the CFL. So it was fun getting to learn that, and especially with special teams. Coming in, anytime you're trying to make a new team, you're probably going to be a special teams guy. So
Yeah.
learning all those cool rules and trying to figure out where I fit, because I didn't get to play a lot of special teams the last couple of years at OU. So trying to refit into
Yeah.
that mentality and aspect to the game was fun. And then just slowly getting noticed as the years go through, and then stepping up when your name gets called. I think the big thing I've stuck and didn't get tossed to the side was not messing up, learning your plays, and then doing your job simple. Not trying to do anything special, but when the special plays come, they come.
AJ this year has 427 yards, 4 touchdowns. You had three in the win over the Elks in Edmonton a couple of weeks ago against the Elks. And you touched on the differences of the game. For those that might not be aware, it's 12 men on the field, both sides of the ball. It's a wider field. It's a longer field. It's 20-yard end zones. It's 3 downs. The D-line is a yard off the ball. There are multiple men in motion. So it really isn't conducive necessarily to a running game per se. But you and Andrew Harris, veteran running back, have really teamed up to have a great running style. How has the running game and your style of running played in the CFL, do you think?
Coming into this year, especially with Andrew being a vet, I don't know if this is year 15, 16, or 17 for him in professional sports, but it's getting up there.
Yeah.
And then with my mentality, we kind of took it upon ourselves like, hey, we got to establish this run. We got a first-year starter in the CFL at quarterback who has blown expectations out the water right now. He's killing it. So we started off early like, hey, we got to run the ball this year. And now it's, we can do anything we want. Chad's, running with it, tossing it out to the side when he needs to, but handing it off, and it's all clicking right now. We just got to keep it going.
The Chad you're referring to is Chad Kelly, who had a great college career too, and he threw out the first pitch at the Blue Jays game the other night. Have you gotten a chance to take part in some of the celebrity sort of I mean, you guys are 6-0. You got to be the talk of the town with the Blue Jays too, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it started after the Grey Cup, coming into town, and you could pretty much go to a restaurant and hang out with the manager and get some stuff paid for and all that. So living the dream that way. But this year, I've been to a couple of Blue Jays games, hang out with some of the fans there, take the pictures, sign autographs, and all that, having fun with them. I was planning on going last night with Chad. A group of us were going, but by the time I got back to where I was living, it was going to be an hour drive back to the city, and it just didn't match up. So I just stayed back in Milton, outside the city.
Yeah, the GTA is what it's called, the Greater Toronto Area, and it is a massive area too. Really fun. Got to be a fun time this summer. The Blue Jays and the Argos and all that. The thing that's evolved too here, AJ, is the fact that your personality has come out so much here. As folks can see, you got that long blonde hair now. The beard's there growing in. The cameras are on you before games. You might give them a little bit of a wink, or you've got that whole wrestling stuff going on too. How has the AJ personality evolved, and why do you think it's been something that fans in Toronto have latched onto?
I think it's someone that they can relate to, a hard worker, someone that doesn't like to talk too much. And it's been, I'm going to say it's been hard on them trying to get the personality out of me, but I'm doing my best to, stay focused and do my job, but still, give them the things that they want, the wink into the camera so everybody can see it on TV. And I'll get messages about that. The flexes also for the kids at the gym and all that, having fun, the waves, the love you mom.
Yeah.
Got to make sure you get all those in, but also stay focused into the game. I think that's what they like, because I can do all that, but then on the sideline, there's so many pictures of me looking angry and pissed off and trying to figure out what to do next. And I think the fans can appreciate that, because they're always like, you're so scary. And then after the game, I'm out there with a smile on my face and all that. So,
well, Bob fans certainly know the calculated rage in a good way that you have on the field, but how kind-hearted you are as a person too. And Bobcat fans are following you, and they followed you since that first game. And we've talked about it. I since apologized to you that we weren't 100% sure on how to pronounce your last name, but we figured it out. 2014, you're in their final drive, set up the Josiah Yazdani field goal at the end of the game. Ohio wins at Kent State. What do you remember about that start to your college career?
That start, it's going to be opening kickoff. And then all the coaches obviously let me know that they noticed the play. It was a kickoff return. We were getting the ball, and I was the wedge guy. I was like the fullback, not the returner, nobody special. But a guy was running down the field, and I hit him with everything I had. He ended up head hitting the turf first, feet over head. And that's when I kind of clicked, like, yeah, this is going to be fun. College football is going to be fun. And then I just did everything I could to help the team on special teams. We were hurting ourselves that game with, I think, 5 fumbles or something. And then Poppy ended up, I don't know if he tore his MCL or it was a strain or something, but he couldn't finish the game. And finally, coach called down and was like, "Hey, get ready, you're going in." And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people didn't quite know what to say or expect. But it worked out. I don't know if the defense was like, "Hey, it's a freshman," because the holes were wide open, and I just ran and ended up, yes, Donnie coming through with the win.
Yep, Yazomatic, and the fireworks had to go off because they had fireworks after the game too, so they were celebratory fireworks for A.J. Ouellette's debut. 49 games with the Bobcats, 3,800 yards, 32 touchdowns, 5th in carries in Bobcat history, 3rd in yards, 4th in touchdowns, and the opener this year is against the team that you played in your final game as a Bobcat against, and that was in the Frisco Bowl in 2018. It was the only shutout in MAC Bowl history ever. 27-0 over San Diego State, and it didn't even feel that it was that close. You were really close to 200 total yards in that game. You didn't get in the house, but you were the offensive MVP. What do you remember about taking on the Aztecs and putting out that Aztec fire?
It's funny you brought that up today, like how this interview matched up, because I had an interview right before coming on here with a guy in Toronto, and he asked me what my favorite game was in college. And I said, it's not too often that you know when your last game is going to be.
Right.
But that was my last game in a Bobcat uniform. So that was like one I was going to take in and remember. So it was the whole week leading up to it. It was going out to eat with the teammates before the game. It was putting on the uniform for the last time. it was giving everybody high fives, headbutting your O lineman to get them ready. But just the way that game came about was the rain. Like, I'm a running back, I like downhill, nothing fancy, like the rain. I'm like, yes, bring it on. They were like 5th in rushing defense.
That's right.
Bring it on. Coaches were harping on it all week. So it just fell into our hands, and we just had to prove that we were, the better team that day. And we did. And I remember one play, if we want to, bring out memories, was a flea flicker that we had. I tossed it back to Rourke, and he threw it to, I believe, Andrew.
Yep.
For a touchdown. There was one play, if the defense brought double edge blitz, we couldn't run it against, because I was going to be pitching it back to Nathan to get his head taken off. And we call it into that play. They brought double edge blitzes, and all I did was hold it for an extra 3 seconds to make sure those guys knew I had the ball. And then I launched it back, and it was basically saying, "Sorry, Nathan." And it worked out.
And you guys won 27-0, and your career is taken off. And the Ohio name, the Bobcat football brand, is known in Canada. Chip Cox went into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame last year. Of course, Nathan Rourke with BC, and now with Jacksonville. You mentioned Poppy White, and Malik Irons has been up there. Demontre Tuggle with Ottawa this year, and Casey Sales, who you played against in the Grey Cup last year, signed a nice new contract. He's right down the road from you in Hamilton. What does the Bobcat brand and name mean in CFL circles? Because it's got to mean something good.
Yeah. Every coach I've talked to up here, they're like, you're an Ohio guy? Yeah. They're like, all right, we're going to expect something from you then. And I'm like, yes, you are. Every person, it's crazy how when you get up here and people aren't too sure of who you are, they're like, oh, do you know Chip? Yeah, I know Chip Cox, like from OU. Heard many stories about him through my years there. And older teammates would like to share stories about him, or coaches that might have had him, or like he did this, he was this kind of leader. And it's funny how we're all kind of similar but different at the same time. Like, just I don't know if it's that Athens air that brings it out of us, or makes us all kind of connected in one way, but it's fun hearing the stories.
Want to mention as well about your wife Haley and you have the No Name Athletics in Ohio, still going. Tell us about that and how all of that evolved.
Yeah, so No Name Athletics came about back in 2020 when the pandemic hit here. They canceled the season, and we were working for another gym and enjoying training the kids, but like the business side and everything, I was like, this can be ran better. Like, we need to be giving the kids more than what we're offering now. So we were just like, screw it, let's see how open the business is. And we had no idea how to start a business, what to do, so we're just trying to Google, and bless her, she did most of it, and I was just like, yep, go with it, I'll go get it done. Yep, go with it, I'll go get it done.
Nice.
Working into that, and then we started small. We were at like 5,000 square feet in a building. This guy kind of helped us. He was like a private investor. Chad Lawson was the owner of the building, who kind of helped us out getting equipment and all that. So that was a huge help. And then we were growing too quick, and that 5,000 square foot wasn't enough. And we had a speed coach that wanted more space and needed more weights. So we found a new building, moved into it last year, across the street from where we were. So it was kind of perfect location, and it's 25,000 square feet. So now we got more room than we know what to do with. So we're trying to add more stuff in there. We're bringing in basketball coaches. We have a wrestling coach in there now. We had a volleyball college player come in and do a camp. And so we're trying to figure out how to run a business. But we just enjoy, giving the kids what they need. That's all the knowledge it takes to move in a weight room properly.
It's no surprise that you're having success, and you want to help others have success too. Got to have a word on the game coming up. You're on a West Coast flight coming up soon as you take on the Stampeders of Calgary on Friday night. That's going to be on CFL Plus. Bobcat fans can go on and log on. That's not going to be on CBS Sports Network on Friday night. The Stamps have 2 wins this year. You guys are 6-0. Your thoughts on going out west to try to make it a 7-0 start to this season?
We just got to go out there with a mindset that we're a better team, and we have to show it. Our last 2 trips out there haven't been too well. They know our schemes. Our coaches are from Calgary, so they're taught in that system. So everybody's going to know everybody's system. It's just who's going to strap it up and play that day. So we got to go out there and not really look at records, and play the game like we've been prepping for all week. Not get too high, not get too low. That's what I love about this game, is it's gonna go good for you and it's gonna go bad for you at times, and you just gotta stay ready for that next play. If people want to dial in on me, I'd say get ready for multiple different looks. It's gonna be fun playing fullback, receiver, running back.
Nice.
I wish quarterback, but that's not gonna happen.
Maybe if you don't toss it back this time and you let her fly. You're coming off the touchdown Atlantic win over the Rough Riders of Saskatchewan, and so that was big out there in Halifax, and now you see the rest of Canada too. So congrats on the 6-0 start. On the way out, your message to this 2023 Bobcat team and Bobcat fans in general.
I mean, Bobcat fans, I appreciate you. Obviously, the best in the MAC. We've been saying it for years. It shows year in and year out. To the boys, enjoy that. That time goes way too fast. Even when you think you're hating classes and all that, just know you're going to miss sitting in those auditoriums. Yeah, just enjoy the small moments with your teammates, the ones that you don't think are going to mean something, because they're going to mean something one day. Never take a play off. Enjoy it. You never know when it's going to be your last. Injuries suck. It's part of the game, though. Should never be thinking about it, but go out there and give it your all.
You're a role model. You're an inspiration. You're an Ohio guy. You're an Ohio Bobcat. You are a Grey Cup champion Toronto Argonaut, and hopefully you're a 7-0 Argonaut with the win over Calgary coming up on Friday night. AJ Ouellette, thank you so much for the time, and congratulations on everything, buddy.
Thanks, Russ. I appreciate it, and go Bobcats.